Hello guys, I'm back. Today's October the 27th, 2017. Welcome to my channel, Alien Society. Today I'm going to talk about a little bit about an update, rather. Yesterday, I saw an interview that was being made. Tom DeLonge was being interviewed by Joe Rogan. Many of you know Joe Rogan from the UFC. He's an commentator for the UFC, and basically, he also has his own radio show, and he managed to have Tom DeLonge as a guest for about a whole hour, so he was able to ask him several questions. Now, on some things, Tom DeLonge came up front and direct and said what he had to say, and I kindly appreciate what he said. But some things he just kept, like saying, "Oh, I can't tell you," or, "I can't and can't." And at the same time, I'm thinking, if you're going to come out with a project that's going to benefit all of us, as citizens of the United States, not only that, but as, considering that we are all seekers as well, you would think that he'd just be upfront with us. Even though he is upfront with us, but at the same time, again, it's just more like the project that Tom DeLonge came out with. It was October 11th, and he was basically telling us that he has a project called To the Stars Academy, and he introduced us to his staff, who happens to be present, active, if not almost, kind of retired members, top members of the government of the United States. So basically, he was just saying that we're going to be working on, of what he said, he's going to be working on a spaceship, rather. Picture it as Star Trek, that you're out there venturing into the stars with this electromagnetic craft that's able to move at high speeds and go outwards into space. But in my own personal opinion, I believe that that is something that already is happening today, because, as I told you guys in my previous video, that after World War II, basically the German scientists, were brought to America, okay? So, obviously, Germany lost the war, and Americans went there, grabbed what they had to grab, and they brought German scientists, especially all the things that they had. And of course, some of you already know, because I mentioned it, that Germans were conducting plans to make, actually they made a couple, flying saucers, okay? Now, they had supposedly these plans from an extraterrestrial race of beings that gave them the ideas, so that we, as human beings, be able to create our own. And whether that's fact or not, again, we won't know until some sort of a disclosure happens, because we're not 100% sure of that, until, of course, we are told by the United Nations that finally we are being met by extraterrestrials and been here for the longest time throughout many years. And so, again, I'm saying to you guys that we all have to prepare for the potential answers, that if disclosure do happen, we have to be ready, basically to accept what we are going to be told. Now, many of us may not agree with the things that might be told, but if you have an advanced race telling you how exactly creation was made, or how many more people in the planets that they have, or wherever it is, right, in the universe or in this planet, we have to accept certain things. Now, of course, we have free will to whatever, accept or dislike anything. Also, I would say that Tom DeLonge's project is almost like Stephen Greer's project, but Stephen Greer's project is more like disclosure. Okay, so I really think personally that it's getting to the point where disclosure is coming, and maybe it might be sooner than we think, because I mean, it's that time anyways, guys. Although I don't think that we're going to be told fully in terms of the flying saucer technology that we have. And the reason I say that is because think about it like this, guys. If you have a competitor, right? Let's say you have a company and there are competitors everywhere around the world. You expect to have the best quality in your product better than any competitor out there, right? Because you want people to see that you have the best product. So if we're looking at it in the world scene, we're looking at it as America being the highly advanced country that we are. I would say that we would have things that even us as citizens don't know that we have, considering that our government is not going to show us that. Because if they show us that, then that means they have to show the world that. Okay? And that would basically give their competitors, the other countries of the world who consider to be competitors of America, then they're going to know what we have. And then they're going to, want to know why we have this and why we have that, and they don't. So to some degrees, disclosure of UFOs is kind of good, but at the same time, it's not. It's like yes and no. I mean, we know that we had a stealth fighter. We had the SR-71, and besides those, we also have advanced ships, advanced submarines. So it all goes basically from the 1940s, if not before that. That again, once you have these years going on, and then you had these scientists that were able to maybe they write down their stuff and pass it down on to the next generation and the next generation and the next generation. So you can just imagine that what type of SR-71 vehicle today, right, would be more advanced than that one. Because supposedly the SR-71 is no longer active because now there's a new one that took its place and a lot faster. You see what I'm saying? So Tom DeLonge is basically trying to come up with the same strategy of having an advanced vehicle that can venture out into the stars. He said that these governmental men basically didn't know how to go about presenting it to us. So this is why he said that he had to do this, because this was the only way that they can together put their minds together and give out what they need to all of us. So again, the decision would be all of you to determine whether you want to believe that what he's doing is something that's good or what he's doing is something that's bad, okay? I personally don't believe that what he's doing is bad. I think what he's doing is a good thing, that if he wants to do something of that magnitude, but I still believe that he should work with Stephen Greer, who of course have a lot of knowledge in terms of disclosure and a lot of things that have been happening here on this country and other countries of the world. So I believe, when you put all these people together in the same field, you can come to a greater understanding. And then that's how we can convince our politicians to, mention it in Congress and, with all the seriousness that they should take this as, because again, we have these politicians that even though, like I said, even though they may seem on the surface, they look like politicians, but there are many of them that are elite members of certain fraternities, certain groups. And again, it all decides whether these groups decide that this is the particular time to let us all know as citizens, not just here in America, but throughout the entire world. That's why I say when the United Nations together make that claim, then that's when everything will be, out to light, and then there's nothing to hide anymore, because now we all know that extraterrestrials are here. The only thing that I see that it would be, people are going to ask questions, because again, it's going to be the competition. The competitors of the world, they're going to be like, okay, well then now that you guys know about these people, then what about, could you share this and that with us? So I mean, again, you never know, guys. You have to look at every possibility, okay? But to believe that we are the only existing living creatures in all the universe, in every single star that is around us, that's just not possible. You know, I mean, if you want to believe in a God figure, then so be it. But at the same time, you must know that there's no way possible that we are the only living beings in all the universe. The universe is endless, and we can't determine that for ourselves that all of a sudden that God did not create other beings such as us or that look like us. You guys already know my opinions about God figures because I do believe that our creators are more like us. Okay, so you guys heard me say the reference from the Bible when they said, "Let us make man in our image." Okay, you find that in Genesis, like I told you guys before. Now, it's just not getting biblical with you guys. This is more like telling you something that is, you can take it literal or symbolically. But in my opinion, why take it symbolically when in fact it's telling you that we were made in the image of these beings, whoever they may be, right? Now, you can say Yahweh, Jehovah, Allah, right? So, you guys are probably wondering anyways, what am I doing with this Howard Menger photograph of the conference, right? Well, I figured that I am going to do a Valiant Thor Revisited video. The reason for that is because, of course, when I started this YouTube channel in April of this year, I basically told you guys that I was going to give you guys detailed videos, okay? Which I did. I gave you guys videos. I gave you a series of videos about the Valiant Thor story. But in this new video that I'm going to give you guys, I'm going to give you every detail that I've gotten, the source that I've gotten to validate all the things that I've been telling you guys, that Valiant Thor is a hoax, and it was created by Frank Ernest Stranges himself, who's sitting right here. Now, just briefly, I want you guys, I'm not going to tell you in this video because, of course, I want to tell you in a full version video. You know, I want to be able to tell you in just one singular video instead of series of videos. And I was just wanting you guys to see the inconsistencies in the story. Even if you didn't know the facts to the story, you can still at least see for yourselves that there's inconsistencies everywhere in the story itself, okay? And I want you guys to understand that when I do the full version video, you guys are going to learn every single thing from why this is Frank Ernest Stranges sitting right here at Howard Menger's home at this conference that basically was about Howard Menger's experience that he claimed that he had contacts with these people from Venus, okay? And like I already mentioned before, it's about, he said they were Venusians, and it was two males with long blonde hair and a female with a long blonde hair. So when you try to merge this story with the Valiant Thor story, you can see that it does not add up because it never did to begin with. Howard Menger never mentioned anyone by the name of Valiant Thor. And I was already familiar with that. Okay, so when I did my investigation into the story for about 5.5 years, again, I'm not going to go in depth here because, again, it's going to be a long video and I feel that I owe it to you guys. I just wanted you guys to see the certain inconsistencies, also where my sources were when it came to knowing that that's Frank Ernest Stranges himself sitting there at Howard Menger's conference. Because, of course, he was very well known in the mid-50s there. He was like a modern time, in the 50s, of course, George Adamski, okay? Who people just started believing because he started saying that extraterrestrial came to his home. He had his father backing him up. He had his brother backing him up, his brother who passed away, of course. He had his father also passed away. Also, he had his wife at the time, Rose, who's sitting right here with him. She at the time was confirming the story to be true. And also her brother also was trying to say that his story was true. Again, this was more like to make people believe that it was more. So it's like the more people bring support to it, right? The more people support the story, the more people are going to believe. Now, I want you guys to understand that this photograph here, when I show you that this is the actual photograph, I also have a news clipping that shows you, right, that this is the exact date on the newspaper. You'll see it anyways because I'll show you guys every single thing. And actually 150 people showed up for this conference right here. Now, right here, you don't see 150 people is because these are the people that just got there. Now, again, it was 150 all in all, okay? And so not all of them were believers. Some of them were skeptics. Some of them were members of UFO alien groups, okay? That they were there to see whether Howard Menger really had these experiences or whether he was just, you know, playing along and just making up a story, which of course later on we found out that that was the case, simply because these other organizations of his time in the 1950s did confirm that he was lying about his case. So that's why I started looking into the Valiant Thor story, because when Frank Ernest Stranges mentioned in his book Valiant Thor, that's when, you know, it opens doors to a whole lot of things, because this is where he said it all took place. And that's how it started. But it didn't start there, guys. It started with his own creation in 1960. You guys are going to learn the truth. You guys are going to learn the source that I have that knew Frank Stranges for 25 plus years, okay? So this person knew him firsthand. They've been with him since he was obviously a young man, okay? And you guys are going to get the whole scoop of that. Like I said, I promise. I feel that I owe you guys that. And basically, that's just the update that I wanted to give you guys, you know. And I'm going to continue doing more of these alien contactees and alien abduction stories. If you guys have any stories that you want me to look into, feel free to do that. Also, I want to update you guys on me doing a potential live event, so you guys be able to ask me questions. I'm not sure yet when this is going to take place, guys, but when I do, I'm going to mention it in a video, so you guys will know that the next time it'll be a live event. And so I would say that hit the notification button on there, because once you know that I'll put up a video, a notification will hit your YouTube or your emails or whatever it is, and you guys will be able to see that soon I'm going to be coming up with a live event. So, not yet. First, I want to do the Valiant Thor Revisited video. I want to work on the whole video itself to ensure that I cover every single piece, so that when you guys look at it, you will see that nothing will be left untold about the whole story. And you guys will see every single aspect of the story. You'll see, you'll also will know that I try to contact certain people that are relating to the story and all of that stuff, guys. But that's basically my update. Also, I'm going to again, if you guys have anything, if you're new in my video, you know, if you're new to my channel, guys, I say, you know, welcome to Alien Society. For any of you who like this video, hit the like button if you like. If you don't like the video, hit the dislike button. That's fine. I tend to tell people that if you dislike the video, at least consider at least telling me why. So, but remember, I'm still kind of new, so I'm trying to learn myself about this stuff. And perhaps, you know, as I move along in the process, I'll be able to do everything correctly. And I thank you all for coming on to my channel. I thank you for subscribing, for those of you who have subscribed. I steer you no wrong, guys. I'm here to help you see what I see, the same thing. I'm not here to create a fan base. I'm not here to promote books or lectures of any kind where you have to pay me. No, I'm just basically doing this because this is something that I love. I love things of this nature because I am a seeker as everyone else, okay? Since I was a teenager, I'm 43 now, but as a teenager, I definitely loved the fact that believing that we're not the only thing in the universe, you know, and I was raised as a Roman Catholic. And as a Roman Catholic, it was difficult to think that outside of the box, rather, you know, because you couldn't think outside of the box. Because if you did that, then all of a sudden you would start being told that, you know, that's demonic thoughts and I, you know, in a way that's kind of wrong because no one should be telling us what to think or what to believe in. You know, if you believe that Yahweh, God, Jehovah, Allah has created a universe far greater than we can understand, then how can we not think that this creator, architect of the, you know, grand architect of the universe, made more than just life here on this planet? Okay, we are surrounded by other planets. We are obviously on a star, which is the sun. Just imagine how many more suns are out there with planets surrounding it. Okay, as you guys already know, some of our governments of the world have already shown that there are potential life on some of these planets. But in my opinion, you guys already know that I say that I already believe there is life, and not just microbial life. There's moving, living, breathing, mental using beings like us, okay? And I believe that they are traveling through the universe. And what else can we say, right, guys? What else can we say? Now, I did hear, I'm sorry, I forgot to mention, I did hear Tom DeLonge mention something about vehicles, how he calls them. He calls them advanced aerial threats. Now, I was kind of confused about that because I was like, wait a minute. Why would he refer to UFOs, or rather spaceships that are not from Earth, advanced aerial threats? Now, you don't want people to be alarmed by saying something of that nature, you know, because, of course, people will start having fear. And that's not something that we want. We want people to pass that, okay? Look past fear and look into, you know how there's some people out there that tell us how to face your fears. Well, this is it, right? This is the moment that we've been waiting for. So if disclosure happens, this is what we're going to do. Despite all these movies that we have seen about aliens coming to Earth, trying to take us over and all this other stuff, I mean, that is kind of like a negative vibe that people, I mean, come on, people get negative vibes by looking at things like that, okay? But me personally, I believe that if extraterrestrials were here and they were here to take us over, it would already happen, okay? Let me make a small example how Phil Snyder, in one of his lectures, if not many of his lectures, and this is what I try to tell you guys, that when Phil Snyder was telling us about a war that was going on underground, simply because he said he was a engineer, right? And he worked with the government, but then he was saying there was underground war. Think about it for a second, guys. If we're talking about an advanced race, okay, why would this advanced race want to war with us underground? Don't you think that they want to war with us in the open, in the surface, where we will all see that they're trying to take us over? So it doesn't make sense how, you know, someone would say that, oh, no, they're warring with aliens on the underground of our world. You know, I mean, come on, that doesn't make sense at all. Because, again, if you were talking about advanced beings, right, then why would they want to war with us on the ground? You know, instead of being out in the open where we can all see them and they're trying to take us over. Not only that, but because their technology will be far greater than ours, that means that everything that we use will be pointless, right? So what would be our only defense against such a being, right? We have nuclear weapons that, of course, have been created here on planet Earth. Of course, I think I told you guys before that I believe that these nuclear weapons are for the possibility of an advanced race who try to, like, somewhat, you know, be hostile against us. Not only that, but I think to, you know, deflect asteroids from hitting us, or, you know, or comets from hitting us. You know, we have to always bear in mind, guys, that nuclear weapons was never meant for humanity to use against each other. because that really wasn't the purpose for it. If you really pay attention, that really was not the purpose for that. Okay? Some people may disagree with that, but when you have people out there in this UFO alien phenomenon field, and then they're telling you that these aliens, so-called, right, are telling us that we shouldn't have nuclear weapons, now you're telling us to weaken ourselves to the point where you can just take us over completely, right? Because now you're saying put down those defenses so I can just take you over. I mean, that kind of makes sense, though, don't you think, guys? Why would America, or any government of the world for that nature, allow themselves to destroy their nuclear weapons? Now, if we're thinking of a greater, like a heavenly world where, yeah, sure, like if you believe that, Yahweh is a peaceful creator and decides to have a beautiful new kingdom, then of course I would say, yeah, in the new kingdom, we definitely don't need nuclear weapons. Why? Why would we, right? Because we living in a world where it'll be way different. Everything will be different in the new kingdom. But then again, this is just me speculating. This is me just theorizing on my own. And so I don't want people to be, upset of the things I'm saying. I'm just saying these are possibilities that we all have to accept. Okay? And again, I'll be seeing you guys soon when I basically do that video for you guys. Again, I believe you guys deserve it. I apologize for, taking a couple days off because I was looking into some things, and I'm still going to be doing more things. And so with that, I'm going to close here, guys. So again, if you like what I spoke about today, feel free to hit the like button. If you want to subscribe to my channel, if you're new, subscribe. I can guarantee you this, guys, right? You won't be let down because the things that I do here, I try to give you the full honest opinion about everything that I personally investigate, okay? Or that I personally have come across. So I'm basically going to give you what I believe, and not saying that everyone's going to agree with everything I'm saying, and that's fine because that's part of the process, Not everyone's going to believe everything you're doing. But other than that, if you're doing it and you feel good doing it, then that's good, right? And that's why I feel good about this, because I feel that, I'm doing this channel for you guys, because you guys out there are people like me who are seekers, and you want to know, and you have questions. And even though that I might not have the, the big overall universal answers to your questions, at least I can say this, I can have answers of here in the world of what's happening, okay, of some of the things that I'm looking into. And not just, before I close, of course, I just want to say that these things, guys, you can find it yourselves. It's not like I'm special or I can just look into this and that. I'm not no computer genius. I'm just a simple civilian here, a citizen, just doing normal stuff. And again, it's not like this is hard to do. You can actually find everything on the internet. That's where everything is. Okay, so it's not that hard anymore to look up stuff and give you, put you up to date with what's happening around us. Because it's not a good thing to go about life and not knowing what is around you, And that's why I believe that when the time comes when we get this disclosure, let's hope that the answers are, satisfactory to you guys out there. So, okay, guys, I'm going to close this video. And again, I know I'm sorry. I apologize for extending it. I just meant it to be brief. But sometimes I get caught up because I love this stuff, I really do. And I really appreciate you guys coming to my video, checking it out, and, giving me comments about it. Also, basically telling me stuff that you are aware of, and helping me understand about certain things also. Because, I like to learn more new things too. So if there's something that I don't know, I would like to know about it too. Then that's why there's some people that do, basically they point out certain things to me and I'm like, oh, wow, yeah, that's interesting. And so, again, guys, look forward to seeing a new video. And then after that new video, look forward to also seeing a live event that will take place I will let you know. I will let you guys know exactly when it will take place. And I think I'm gonna close here, guys. Thank you for your time, and I appreciate all of you. Okay, peace, guys.